We have a pretty big system for a city lot in Macomb Township, Michigan. And this is the only stone we're using. Like, for us, that's a small pile. I know for most guys that would be a big pile because they just put such a small amount of stone. Our drains, to get the flow rate we wanted, we had to put a lot of stone in them. But now, on this job, we're going to have 8 coils of the high octane because it flows more water than stone. The pipe is cheaper than stone and the labor to install it. So we were able to give the homeowner a better value because we're giving them a better drain when we use a quad pack of high octane. It's just a better drain system. It's going to flow more water than stone. You got to get so big with aggregate to up the flow rating that it'd be like walking on baseballs in your yard. So nothing can touch a quad pack. We now know that. We've built enough of them. We've gone and examined the flow rate. Just mind-blowing. And then it's just a giant reservoir. So areas where the storm systems back up and the neighborhood has to kind of wait for the infrastructure. When the storm quits and subsides, it takes a little while for the water, you know, to drain out of these properties. Well, our jobs, you won't even see the water because with a quad pack, that's a massive reservoir. So there's just so many pluses. It's unbelievable. Obviously, we want to build the race car of French drains. So we put a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch stone in our quad packs. Why? Because we want to pack the stone around the quad pack tightly, and the big stone doesn't do that as well as the smaller stone. But I'll show you when this is all in the trench. It's going to be a lot easier for a homeowner to do. It's DIY friendly. When you do the quad packs, you know, it's definitely a better way to go, and you end up with a better drain for it. So that's what's really cool. A couple of years ago, this homeowner had somebody put in, it was supposed to be a French drain. We have what's known as triple wall, and it's most popular in septic fields. What I don't get, they ran just solid. Here's a yard drain for surface water. They're trying to catch a bunch of water that used to stand back here. So they ran solid to it. Now, we're not going to tear up his yard to figure out what they were trying to do. But then there's a bunch of cobblestone here and some more triple wall. I think it was a dry well. We see this a lot. You know, we call them yard drains to nowhere. And, you know, it's just so common. Instead of running all the way to, there is a storm drain here, but it would have been more work. So I believe that was the deterrent, was, you know, they didn't want to work. But they didn't have a problem taking this man's money. So, you know, again, I'm just trying to get this information out to the homeowners so that they can ask the right questions, know to take the time, do their due diligence, and get a good contractor to do their yard drain. We try to show contractors on this channel, just have the right equipment, that's all. You don't see us on pickaxe, you don't see us on a shovel right now. We're machine operators. You do have to have smaller equipment for doing residential homes. It's more surgical for sure. I just don't know why guys can't line up a bunch of yard drains and rent a mini excavator and a mini skid loader until they can afford one. There's nothing wrong with that. They give you great rental prices for the whole week. You could really, you know, you could get a job in a day that way anyways. This crew here will do a big job in a day, or two smaller jobs. But again, they have all the right equipment. It's late season and everyone's pretty beat. It's late October, but nonetheless, you know, we got to go to the ground freezes. We'll have time to rest once that happens. Look at that clay. No wonder this yard doesn't drain well. Marcelo's keeping an eye on the trench bottom. He's making sure that the trench bottom doesn't have any bellies. That's where water can lie. You want to have a nice flat trench bottom. If you're a homeowner and you're doing a DIY project, it's super easy just to flood your trench. Do your trench, do all your digging, go ahead, turn your hose on, flood it. See if you got water laying in a few places. You might have to scrape down a couple high spots. Pretty easy to do, but these guys, they got the eye for it. They got the equipment for it. We check with the transit that we have set as well. Real pliable, real elastic soil here. Low percolation rate. It will take in some water, but this yard, the way it has all this privacy screening and all these arborvitaes got large, that's one of the problems. There's no way to get the water out of here. So we're going to do a French drain grid. See how quickly this is going? Because everybody knows their job. Everybody's in sync with the other guy. We got to keep a bucket underneath this track hoe. We can't have him just sitting there waiting. You know, Francisco is really an amazing operator. You know, Scott and I both can run this mini, but you know, we know our place. You know, it's quicker to have Francisco in that seat than it is for either one of us. Scott's probably the best on the mini. Marcel's shaving down a little high spot. He just pushes the dirt towards Francisco. We're Macomb Township, Michigan, and it's known mostly for its clay. Every yard could use a French drain. When you come across the sprinkler line, you just cut it, put your pipe in, then go ahead and put your couplers in. Once your fabric and pipe are in, you can reconnect the sprinklers. Just carry 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch couplers. That's what you're going to run into in a yard drain. This back run, we've hauled out all that clay, went ahead, mended the sprinklers. Always mark them where they're at. They're easy to miss, so you want to make sure you mark them. We're going to get our quad pack in here. Then we're going to lock it up with 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch stone. Not going to use a lot of stone because we got a quad pack, but this is going to be a bigger reservoir and it's going to move more water. This is going to be a better yard drain for the homeowner. And for the installer, whether you're DIY or contractor, if you can get better flow out of the high octane than you can stone, which is the case. We've had this pipe now all summer. We've tried so many things with it, and we're so impressed with all the many things we can do with it. So we're going to run the quad, lock it up with some surface stone, build a better yard drain, and it's less labor, less material. Pipe's cheaper than stone, no matter how you look at it. All right, so you don't have to tie everything together. Water just moves through these pipes. With the big windows, Boffman tile, they just open this stuff up. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, and I doubt anything will ever compete with it. Man, those inlets are crazy large. So the water just moves right through the pipe. We're going to do a French drain grid. This yard's flat. It's really saturated all through here. It's really soft. We want to get this completely done before we start working over here, because we're just going to take our plywood, move it here, and then we're just going to repeat. All right, so the Boffman Gold, that's one of the quad, what part of the quad here, because we have a downspout here, downspout on the other end, crazy long run, a lot of sheet water. Now tie your downspouts together, because that's what keeps the pipe clean. The more water you're pushing through, the cleaner the pipe will be. So shingle gravel is just going to get blown right out of this thing, because it's a 2-story house and there's so much water that those 2 downspouts are responsible for that we're not messing around. We want this all the way to our discharge into the city storm drain. Here's a quad pack. It has 3 of the Boffman high octane and 1 solid. So these are going to be all for the French drain. You want them at the bottom, and then we want to just have a big reservoir for when the city storm drains back up here. So we're adding a 3rd. But it is a quad pack because we got the Boffman Gold. We're tying a gutter downspout system in. Now, when I say tying it in, we're just wrapping it in our French drain. We're not going to actually put the gutter water through this pipe. We're taking it all the way. We're running this downspout pipe 100 feet so that we're no longer dealing with dumping the water in a yard that's already struggling to get rid of the water. We're going to do a French drain grid. First, we got to lock this up with some 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch stone. That's what I like on the quad packs. Marcelo's now making the final repair to mending the sprinklers now that all the pipes are in. That way the stone can go next. You can see our quad pack consists of 3 perf pipes, 1 solid. There you go, 4 pipes. All right, so we're putting our quad pack together. Over here we do have a roof runoff. So we have a Y. The roof runoff is going into 1 Y. We got 2 of the Boffman high octane. This one, those 3 pipes there will all feed into that 1 discharge line. Then this is going to be a quad pack going into a French drain grid. We'll drop another 3 of the high octane in here as soon as we get this dug out. We gotta put some stone, lock that in, pin it, put the sod back on, move the plywood, and repeat. So Francisco took his shovel and Valentine had his shovel pinning the pipe down while Scott dumped it on the stone. Want to make sure I showed that so you guys could see that. The pipes don't move around as much as when you got a single pipe or a double barrel system. The quad stays in there really nice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. See? So you just push the stone and you pack in your quad pack. This locks up real nice and tight, this 1/2 inch to 3/4. Beautiful, beautiful. It ain't gonna move, it ain't gonna go anywhere. Very nice. We got 2 on the bottom, got 2 on the top. The Boffman Gold that you see, that's for the gutter downspouts. Even though when we're doing a system where we combine a roof runoff system and a French drain, yeah, they're combined for sure, no doubt about it. It's going to get burrito wrapped right inside our French drain. We're just saving the customer money because we didn't do another trench for the roof runoff water. And even though it's somewhat tied in, when it gets to the discharge line, it has its own Y that goes right to the discharge line, which is going to be smooth wall, dual wall. Okay, it's dual wall. It's corrugated on the outside, smooth on the inside. It's culvert pipe. You never want to tie your roof runoff pipe into your French drain pipe. Never. That's a big no-no. Now I can honestly say this is going to be here forever. Here's another example of how we build things that last forever. So we had stone on this side holding it down. Got Valentine, he keeps working his way, holding it down. This is done. This is done. Once they're done with the stone, they're going to go ahead and they're going to finish the burrito wrap. Beautiful. Nice work. It's always nice to spend the day with this veteran crew. Everything's a veteran move. Everything is just, honestly, it's precision, it's beautiful, calculated. Man, what a crew to hang out with. I'm a lucky guy, I'll tell you that. These guys will be back next year too. All right, so we're going through a culvert. That's a really crazy, that one's like 18 inches of concrete, so Marcelo's gonna be there a while. As soon as he gets through, we're gonna tie in our dual wall, Bachman dual wall 4-inch culvert pipe, and then we're gonna go ahead and pack dirt around that. Now, we have no problems with discharge of the gutter water or our French drain water. The backfill is done with 3 guys on our crew. We always have 2 guys on the shovel holding down the pipes while Scott's dumping stone in place to lock the stuff in. We got some added help here with a sprinkler pipe. Nice. Beautiful. Stone's not that clean anymore. We just don't get clean stone. I'm not worried about the dirty stone because it just washes right through. All right, so this is held down really nice on both sides. It's pinned down. The last section that we're going to fill before we do our burrito wrap. Perfect, beautiful, beautiful. Then we'll go right into this next main. Again, we're gonna have some balance tubes connecting them. We're just gonna continue to work our way out. We run a generator to do our cores. Seems like we pop everybody's, you know, you're gonna have just a hell of a time using the homeowner's outdoor receptacles. It don't work. I don't know, we got that thing like 15 years ago and it's still running, so how do you not endorse that? All right, so we're starting to dig the next line. We're going to go ahead and just go right into the digging so that I can get some of the dirt out of here. You can see all the plywood's been repositioned for the equipment. It's always nice when you got anchoring roots holding one of these guys in. But the beautiful thing is, if you don't leave this trench holding water, that's an anchoring root. That's not a feeder root. There's another one right here. So that's why it's so important that we don't leave any water in this trench. We want to have our 2 bottom pipes completely at the bottom, laying on the fabric. And we want to make sure that we have our 2% slope. Honestly, this team here is so good. This team here is so good that I've seen them in cases where there was no slope given, completely flat. As long as you have fall at the discharge end, and once in a while we run into that where we just have to go flat and then a little bit of drop is at the discharge end. It works really nice because this team here, they can get a trench bottom completely smooth. It doesn't have any bellies in it, so it's not holding any water. It does take some experience. You know, these guys have been doing this for years, so. After working with these veterans, I mean, that's what they are. They're true veterans. These guys are doing something that they've done for many, many, many years. These guys all have been with me for an extremely long time. It's unfortunate because you start taking some of their talents and some of the things they can do for granted. So I try to, once in a while, take a step back and just realize what we got here. Remember, you want 2 perf pipes on the bottom. We have 1 perf pipe teed into our quad pack over here. Remember, we got a roof runoff system inside a French drain system. But even though we combined them, we never ever piped the Boffman Gold into the Boffman High Octane. So we have a T coming off. We're just going to put an end plug in here. We're going to put 2 more on. Water just moves through the high octane because of the huge cutout windows. Now remember, there's over 17 square inches of inlet per linear foot. I mean, just 1 foot of pipe has over 17 square inches. I mean, that is just insane. But that's why we love this pipe. Perfect. I'm glad I caught that as it is. Mended the sprinkler line. Over here we got a quad. One's tied in with the T. Got 3 end plugs. That's it. Water's going to move right through it. We didn't want to lose the reservoir to stone filling the end of the pipe. That's why we like the end plugs. You know, there's a internal coupler. That's why those are so handy. We keep many of those on the truck or tool trailer. Beautiful. All right, so Valentine's doing a really nice job getting all that sod in place on that first run that we did. Now that first run, that one has the Boffman Gold, the roof runoff system in the quad pack. Then this main here is just going to be all perf pipe. This is a drain that's going to flow water. This is going to flow more water than any other configuration. I mean, a quad pack of high octane, it's going to move more water than any other drainage system that you could possibly think of as far as installations. Now, what's great is the homeowner benefits. This is a monster reservoir in the event that the storm drain can't take any more water, and it does happen. Seems like our infrastructure's falling behind, and this is becoming kind of a trend. Everywhere I go, yeah, we have backups with our storm water. So got this monster reservoir. Now think about it. 20 years from now, those trees are going to be even bigger yet. They're going to raise the ground, but you know water's still going to flow. The whole thing flows water. So even if it creeps up a couple inches, I'm telling you, it's going to flow. Just too much of it is perforated pipe. And this pipe here, water moves through this with less restriction than it does through the stone. There's more void than you can get with stone. Beautiful, beautiful, nice teamwork. Remember, we got our balance tube connected here. It's really nice. And right there you can see the roof runoff system. Now, we PVC taped all the fittings so that when the frost heaves the ground, it can't pull them apart. So we can rest assured when we cover this, trust me, that PVC tape's super sticky, super stretchy. That stuff's not coming apart. That's for sure. You just have to stand on your quad pack. Trust me, it can take it. What a big reservoir. 4 pipes making up a monster reservoir. Beautiful, beautiful. So you have this long inlet. Think about that. Giant inlet. Takes in water everywhere. Not 4 inches, not 6 inches, not 12 inches. It's taking the water in from everywhere. Beautiful. This guy had such a wet backyard. When I came back here, I said, yeah, you're not going to be happy unless we run 2 mains, connect them with a couple balance tubes. Then right through there is our dual wall discharge. And then we connected it to, we did a tap on a storm drain. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Moving right along. That whole back one is done. That's finished. It looked just like this not that long ago.
This one right here.
PVC tape, better than duct tape. All right, so we're gonna hand dig over here by the utilities, but for economics and the obvious, to save on everybody's backs, we're gonna work our way out of this job, dig as much as we can with the machine, hand dig only what we have to. All right, Francisco is getting everything to fit. We're going to have the vented. It's not going to ever get used as a clean out. There's too much water that's going to flow through this pipe, but we're going to vent it so air can't get trapped down in the pipe. He trimmed that down so we can get this stack up to work. He's hooking it up to the Boffman Gold, virgin material, solid. It's not perforated. But It is part of our quad pack, since this is a combination roof runoff water with a French drain. So you got the 2 perf pipes on the bottom, a third one on top with the roof runoff system. So you always want to tape all your fittings with PVC tape, especially in the north where you have the freezing, so you have the shifting of the ground. That fitting will never come apart. Our freeze and thaws are so repeated anymore. Dozens of freeze and thaw. Ground's always shifting in the winter here in the north. The PVC tape is super sticky, super stretchy. It just forms to the fitting and the pipe. Makes a great seal. Shrubs and tree roots will not get into this pipe at all. There's the vent. We had sprinkler lines everywhere trying to work. We got the cable line, communication, trying to get it set perfect for a good fit. That's what's nice about the Baughman Gold. You got this really, really strong single wall pipe, and you're able to make these serpentine. You can't do that with any other pipe. Nice. Really nice. Beautiful. Well done. You did it like you've done it before. Very nice. All right, so that pipe is shallow so that we have constant pitch. We had to go shallow because of the way the dirt's built up in here. It's higher. And then we cut through the deeper grade. And remember that Baughman Gold runs all the way through this French drain system on top, not the bottom, and goes into the storm drain back there. There's going to be a lot of water that flows through that, a lot of roof runoff. Sheet water. Quite a bit. We got second story water coming down to the roof on the first story. So these 2 downspouts are responsible for a lot of water.
I think so, because I don't have a lot of stone in the street. I don't want to dump discharge.
This is that time of the day where everybody's thinking about, we're really, really close. We're going to be heading home. All right, so we got 2 pipes at the bottom of this trench, and we graded the stone so that we have the perfect slope on the Baughman Gold. This is that solid Baughman Gold. So we just been tediously getting this perfect, so that this trench doesn't hold any water and we don't have no bellies in our roof runoff system. Yep, bring it. All right, we got our vented downspout. We cut out a piece of concrete, running the really crazy strong yellow on the inside, yellow on the outside, Baughman Gold solid. All right. There's virtually like 2 minutes of sunshine between these houses, so we're going with the black grates because all the home inspectors are telling us to. That way, when the sun's out, if there's any ice on them, the black heats up. This from the radiant energy, even when it's below freezing. Radiant energy, the power of radiant energy. It can be below freezing and it's melting the roof. And it can melt that black grate. There you go, man. It's looking good. All right, guys. That's it. 30 more feet and we're out of here. We're going to put everything away, tie it up, chain it down, whatever we got to do, get home, be with our families for dinner, just like that. All right, guys, until the next video.